This is the intermediate algebra assignment for April 22nd. And these are the assignments. Some of them I've changed in midstream, so you see them marked out and new assignment put in. Okay, on 11.2 first, this is all about using that formula that I've got written there, the quadratic formula. Number 13 is written there. I wrote a little bit of telling you, multiply by 2, get rid of all fractions at first. Number 14, see we got 1/6 x squared plus x plus 1/3 equals 0. Multiply by 6 and make sure you follow how I got the numbers I did. Then from that new equation, a is 1, b is 6, and c is 2. And I put those numbers in this formula up here, the quadratic formula. I put them in, and then I worked it out. I broke down the radical, and notice how I canceled. Okay, number 15 is there. Notice I said multiply by 5, the common denominator. Then also make sure it's equal to 0. Make sure it's equal to 0 before you use the quadratic formula. And notice I left something out on the formula. I got in a hurry. Minus 4ac. Okay. Number 16, 1/8 x squared plus x equals 5/2. Of course, multiply by 8 first, and we get x squared plus 8x equals 20. Then make sure you make it equal to 0. Now you use the quadratic formula that I have put there, put it in as I've done it here, work it out, and then the radical disappears because the square root of 144 is 12. So it's plus 12 and minus 12 with the different numbers. So you get negative 10 and 2. Number 17, same thing. Multiply by your common denominator, make it equal to 0, then use the quadratic formula. 18, same way. Multiply by 2, get rid of all the fractions, make sure it's equal to 0. Then I wrote the quadratic formula again right there. You need to write it as many times as you can so you remember it. Then you put them in, put the numbers in there, work it out, break down your radical, as I've done here, and there's your answer. 11.3 brings up about 5 or 6 special ways of solving some certain equations. 29 and 30 are just alike. Different numbers, but just alike. When you have something like this, 3 terms like that, it suggests factoring. To get x to the 4th, you have x squared here and x squared here. Then negative 11 and negative 1 give you the plus 11, and those added together give you the negative 12. Once you get something factored in an equation, you set it equal to 0, as I've done, and solve it. And when you take the square root of x squared, you get x, of course. When you take the square root of 11, you get plus or minus square root of 11. When you take the square root of 1, you get plus or minus 1. That's one type of question. Then 31 and 32 are alike. Both of them have got fractions in them. Both of them have fractions. The first thing you should do when you have fractions in an equation in the denominator is factor any denominators that you can. Notice x squared minus 9, we factor it. X minus 3, x plus 3. One thing to think about is I said domain, and it's been a while since we've talked about domain. Domain is what can you put in for x? What can you put in for x? Well, you can put everything in for these x's except 3 right here. 3 minus 3 is 0. You can never have 0 in the denominator. And negative 3. You can't. Negative 3 plus 3 is also 0. So those are the things we need to consider, because what if you came up with an answer of 3 or negative 3? You'd have to throw them out because they weren't part of the domain. Then step number 3 is very important. Multiply by the common denominator. X minus 3 times x plus 3 is times 5 over x minus 3. Then x minus 3, x plus 3 is times x over x plus 3. Then x minus 3, x plus 3 is times 19 over x minus 3, x plus 3. Notice, in each case, we cancel out the denominator we had. On the first one, x plus 3 is left times 5. Second one, x minus 3 is times your x. And on the last one, the only thing left is 19. Then you multiply these out, and then you give it 5x plus 15 plus x squared minus 3x equals 19. Then you combine like terms and make equal to 0 because of the x squared. So x squared plus 2x minus 4, and then you use the quadratic formula. Okay, -1 plus or minus square root of 5. Then number 35 and 36 are alike. This is where we have one of our x's in the radical, a square root. Number 36, I'll show you how to do, then you do 35 the same way. Since you've got an x inside the radical, you need to square both sides. The left side, 16x squared. The right side, when you square a square root, you're just left with 2x plus 3. Then you make that equal to 0, and then you either factor or the quadratic formula. And I went ahead and used the quadratic formula. I came up with 1/2 and -3/8. Then, because of what we did here of squaring the equation right back there, we have to check our answers. 1/2 is not going to be any problem. It will check when you put it in here for x and in here for x. But the -3/8, 2 times -3/8 is a negative number. But the right side is the positive square root, because there's no negative in front of that square root. So the right side's going to come out to a positive number, and 2 times -3/8 is negative. So that is why I scratched out -3/8 as an answer. Then 37 and 38 are another type of thing that we can factor. A little bit different than the first two we did. But to get our x to the 2/3, we have x to the 1/3 here and x to the 1/3 here. Note, those two times each other, you add the exponents, so we get that 2/3. Then I factor the same way we always do, x to the 1/3 minus 4 and x to the 1/3 plus 2, because that's what works out there. Then I set each factor equal to 0. The first one, x to the 1/3, equals 4. The second one, x to the 1/3, equals -2. And remember, to the 1/3 power means the cube root of x equals 4. So we cube both sides, 64 for the answer. Over here, x to the 1/3 equals the cube root of x. So cube root of x equals -2. We cube both sides, we get -8. Number 39 and 40. Both of those have 4 terms on the left side. 4 terms suggest we factor by grouping the first 2 and the last 2. Out of the first 2, you can take an x out, leaves you x squared plus 1. Out of the second 2, you can take -3 out, leaves you x squared plus 1. Note, both of those have x squared plus 1. X squared plus 1 is your common factor, times x minus 3. Then you set each factor equal to 0. Notice the first one, x squared plus 1 equals 0. So x squared equals -1. Then we take the square root. Remember, the square root of -1 is I from chapter 10. So plus or minus I for 2 of the answers, and 3 on the other. Then 11.4, 9 and 10. On number 9 and 10, both of them have the same 3 factors in there. One of them is greater than 0, the other one is less than or equal to 0. Okay, on number 10, the one I'm going to do with you, my critical numbers are 6, 4, and 2 by letting those equal 0. And then when you find those three numbers on the number line, it divides your number line up into 4 parts. The numbers to the left of 2, the numbers between 2 and 4, the numbers between 4 and 6, and the numbers greater than 6. 4 different areas divided up because of those 3 numbers. We're trying to find if this area works, or this area, or this one, or this one, or 2 of them, or how many of them work. So to find out if the first one works, to the left of 2, you put any number to the left of 2 in your original inequality. For instance, 0 is to the left of the 2. 0 minus 6, 0 minus 4, 0 minus 2, as I've shown you down here, comes out is 3 negatives times each other. So 3 negatives is negative. That's less than 0. So that means this area up here did work to the left of the 2. Then I go to the next area between 2 and 4. I try a convenient number in there. The most convenient number between 2 and 4 is 3. 3 minus 6, 3 minus 4, 3 minus 2. I get 2 negative numbers and a positive number. 2 negatives make a positive, so I get a positive 3. Is that less than or equal to my 0? No. So this second area between 2 and 4 did not work. Then I go to the third area between 4 and 6. So I try 5. I put 5 into all 3 of these places up here. 5 minus 6, 5 minus 4, 5 minus 2, negative, positive, and positive. So I get a negative answer. Is that less than 0? Yes. Then I go to my third area, which is all the way to the right of the 6. Okay? All the way to the right of the 6. And so I try 7 as my number. 7 minus 6, 7 minus 4, 7 minus 2. All of those come out as positive numbers. I get 15. Is that less than 0? No. So, looking at what we had, the numbers to the left of 2 worked. So, negative infinity up to 2. And I put a bracket around the 2 because it was less than or equal to. So equal to meant I put a bracket around the 2. And then the second area I tried, which is this area right here, did not work. So it's not part of my answer. Then the third area that I tried is between 4 and 6. Between 4 and 6 did work. So then I put bracket 4, comma 6, bracket. So these are my 2 intervals that worked in my solution.